So, how do you approach people on direct messenger and actually get them to respond to you? There's a special way of doing it that I used, and I tend to always get a response, and it is the antithesis of approaching someone cold with a preset message trying to sell them stuff. Let's be really clear from the beginning. If you send out a message as the first thing you do to someone completely cold when you connect with them, and even if you try a "hey, how's it going, I love your post" and so on, and then within the same breath essentially put a link into your Instagram account about and how, you know, there's a link in the bio to your latest free webinar on the 3 tips, people feel like they're being gamed. And the thing you've got to remember is that people hate to be sold to, and your ability to subtly deliver a message like that that's going to be effective is never ever as good as their ability to pick up on what you're trying to do, which is sell them. So you need to take the longer route, okay, because whilst it's a little more work, it is far more effective. If you get maybe 1 in 300 people responding to the pithy little preset message you send out, you're more likely to get almost everyone respond to this approach instead. Now, this approach is a simple human connection-based approach. What I do first is I go to, rather than the messaging function on, say, LinkedIn or Facebook, I go to their content instead. Go to someone's content, a post they put up, a video, an article, whatever it is, and go like that and comment on it. Yes, you have to read their content or listen to it first. Once you've done that, go to another one and do the same there. Then the next day, go back and do some more commenting on their latest piece of content. What happens there is, if someone's really active, what they tend to do is then respond to your comment. What's happening here is you're giving first. You're actually getting involved in a little bit of, hey, I'm impressed with your stuff, which is a quite genuine way to approach things. And you know what? It's actually a good way of building a community. What this does when they then respond to you is gives you essentially an earned right to take another step. Now I think is a good time to ping over a connection request for someone and then pop in a message and say, hey, I'm loving your content at the moment, just wanted to connect, and that's all. And the play essentially is to connect with a view to just connecting and saying hello to that person, as opposed to doing anything else, all right? So what happens is you've validated the reason why they should accept your connection request beforehand by showing them that you're quite interested in their content. And hey, you should be anyway, right? Otherwise, why are you connecting with this person? If they're in your world and relevant to you, then they should have content that you can comment on that is relevant. And I think it's just a really sensible way of warming your way up to the point where you can then ask legitimately for a connection request. The next steps after that, especially if it's someone you want to have, improve the reach of your content, because maybe they've got a load of followers or something like that, you need to spend more time with them. Maybe now there's a DM message going on, a kind of a conversation where you're actually speaking to that person more, by way of some kind of conversation. And then ultimately, what I always try and do is hop on a call with them, 30 minutes on a Zoom call, so you can have a quick video call and get to know that person better. It all validates their decision to engage with your content, and now we've got a great connection. And hey, you never know where it might go. You might end up with someone there who's going to buy your product. If they would or could buy your product, they're certainly very, very receptive because of the way you entered into this relationship. Yes, it takes a bit longer, but surprisingly not that long, and the result is far more worthwhile. So probably overall it takes less time than if you just spam the hell out of all of these contacts. Do not send the crappy little DM message. Even if you think it's really, really clever, they'll just be wound up by it and leave you alone, okay? Your traction is going to be far better when you warm up to it. Pop a comment or two on their comments first, on their posts, and take it from there. I would love to hear from you guys what you think would also work in terms of connecting with people like this. So pop in the comments what you think, and I'll see you on my next tip. But in the meantime, thanks very much for watching all these. There's been some really great feedback, and I really appreciate it.